Alright, we've got my favorite recipe going on today with venison, and what I'm making is a smoked garlic venison pork kielbasa. Okay, so here we are again in the kitchen. Still, I actually just finished making a summer sausage, jalapeno and cheddar. So, things look the same, that's why. I'm on to my next batch. I've cleaned everything up, which I've stressed in every one of my videos, is having good clean equipment. The next thing that I always talk about is you start out with quality meat, and it's still semi-frozen. It's thawed about a ½ inch to an inch inside of there, and you can see the block of venison is still, some of it's coming off, but it's still frozen as well. Semi-frozen, and if you've seen my other videos, I apologize for repeating myself, but if somebody just stumbles on this video first, then they're going to need to know the little tricks that I like to talk about. The frozen meat like that will help you keep the grinder head frozen, cool, I'm sorry, not frozen, keep it cool, and it'll stop your meat from getting gummed up in there, and it just makes the process cleaner. It's also easier to clean out your equipment if you have a clean sink and you go straight from grinding into the sink and clean everything up. Cleaning is the worst part of the process. Setup is important too. I'm obviously going to have to stuff some casings, so I need to get my casings out, but I've got my stuffer set up, grinder, meat, ingredients, everything right here, so I can just start here and go flowing right through the whole process. So first things first, cut your meat up. And we're going to get started at that. Cutting the meat, get yourself a good knife. This is a Mundial. They're fairly cheap, but they hold a good edge. I've said that in some of my other videos as well. You want to cut your meat so that you're not making the grinder work too hard. This is a Lem, L-E-M, made by a company named Lem. Big bite grinder number 5, and I think it's perfect size for what I use it for. But that being said, the smaller you can cut the meat into, the smaller pieces you can cut it into, the easier it is on the grinder, the longer your equipment's going to last you. So, as I'm cutting this, I want you to see this is actually still frozen right in the middle. I can bend it, you know, but it's still pretty cold and frozen. That's what's going to cool the head off. Ingredients for this kielbasa is going to be 2 tablespoons of regular salt, 1 teaspoon of marjoram, that's the green stuff, 2 teaspoons of white pepper, fine ground white pepper, and 1 teaspoon for every 5 pounds of meat. I've got 5 pounds, so 1 teaspoon of #1 prog powder. Right here I've got 1 cup of non-fat instant milk. You keep this separate because these ingredients here you want to mix with the water, which I'm going to drop in right now, so the salt and everything has time to dissolve in the water. It spreads through your mixture of the meat better. Right here we've got the secret ingredient. This is smoked garlic. If you're going to smoke garlic, you need to make sure you do it low and slow. You need to make sure that the outside of it dries first, or else you're going to get a lot of the soot from your smoker collecting on the garlic. So you want it to be a light brown color when you're all done. But in this kielbasa, the smoked garlic flavor, what I'm trying this time is I've made it just plain garlic, and it's awesome. But I'm just smoking the garlic. I'm not going to smoke the kielbasa. I'm going to finish it and bring the internal temp up to 165 in the oven. The reason I'm doing that is because I want this to taste like a smoky garlic flavor, and not a kielbasa that's been smoked. So I'm going for a little bit of different process, and we'll see how much this smoked garlic is going to permeate the rest of the meat. And maybe I'll just end up smoking it the rest of the time and not worrying about it. But I'm just trying something a little different. One thing I'm going to do for everybody is I'm going to time my lem this time. This is the Big Bite grinder. It's a number 5 Big Bite from Lem. Excuse me, just sneezed. And it is a 1/4 horsepower, 0.25 horsepower. So 5 pounds of meat, a little bit of smoked garlic, and let's see, I got my stopwatch on, and I'm going to start right now. So you can see, we'll stop it right there. About 3.5 minutes, and I was not in any big killing hurry or anything. And it's ground in through there. We got all the smoked garlic mixed in there, and it's all ground up real nice. I was switching back and forth between the pork and the venison, and this batch is actually not as frozen as the first batch. I just made a video a little while ago. I think I told you about it, but it's not as frozen. It's still ice cold though, and you can still see the condensation on the grinding head. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the refrigerator real quick just to keep it cool, and I'm going to take apart this grinder, get it right into the water. If you don't do that, then you got all this meat juice that starts to thicken and coagulate, and it's really a pain in the neck to get off. So let's get that cleaned up real quick, and then we'll start again on the video. By now, it's only been, well, it took what, about 3 minutes to grind, 3.5 minutes to grind that stuff up, and it took me probably, I don't know, 2-3 minutes to rinse all that stuff off in the sink. So this has had time for the cure to dissolve in there. Gonna whisk it around a little bit more, then just dump it right in. That was 1 cup of ice cold water mixed with those ingredients. Alright, we'll start mixing this in. You can see it looks like a lot of water, but it's going to get tacky, and it's going to get soaked right up. And to help that get soaked right up, we're going to put our 1 cup of non-fat instant milk in right now. This is kind of like a binder that helps it all stick together when you cook kielbasa. You normally cook it like in a crock pot. You might brown it on the in the pan first, and then put it in a crock pot and let it cook. And this kind of helps it all stay together. Now, that being said, if you when you process this, you smoke this sausage, all the sausage is the same. You're gonna, well, like summer sausage and things like that are the same. There's many ways to do it, but I shouldn't say it's the same. But you want the internal temp to reach 165 when you're smoking it, or if you cook it in the oven. You want that internal temp to reach 165. Now, if you want to, I could actually take this and slice it cold and put it on a cracker, because it's going to be cooked and it's got the cure in it, and it would be the same as eating like a summer sausage. It's going to be pre-cooked. But what I'm making here is kielbasa to go in the crock pot. But if you wanted to eat it just like summer sausage on a cracker, you could. And I think that I'm going to take some of this and do my cracked pepper trick, which is going to be another video I'll make today, and coat the outside of it with cracked pepper before I serve it, and serve it on a cracker. But we'll see. That might be a little potent with the garlic in it. Now, I love garlic, so it doesn't matter to me, but not everybody likes as much garlic flavor as I do. So you can adjust the garlic accordingly, obviously, however you want. I normally make it with about 6 garlic cloves. Now that's 6 good sized garlic cloves for 5 pounds of meat. And it's starting to get tacky, and that is cold, freezing my hand off. But so that's a lot of garlic, 6 cloves for 5 pounds. But when you cook it, I like to brown it first, cook it in some sauerkraut, and let it cook all day. You're getting the sauerkraut into the sausage and the garlic into the sauerkraut. And at the end of the slow cooking process in a crock pot, it comes out perfect. And so for me anyways, it's too garlicky for a lot of other people. But so play with your amount of garlic. That's what I'm trying to spit out. This smells awesome. I love garlic, especially the smokiness I can smell from this right here. We're going to be using these collagen round casings. They're 18 inches. They're from Lem. They're actually curved. It'll come out just like ring bologna or kielbasa, so you get the authentic look. You can use those casings for summer sausage, for anything, it doesn't matter. So there we have it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lengths about 18 inches, and then one about 7, 8 inches there. So that's 5 pounds of meat. That's venison, 3 pounds venison, 2 pounds pork, lean pork like you saw in the beginning of the video. And I left the string on one of them. I am going to smoke one of them, but they've all got that smoked garlic in them. So the other ones I'm just going to process right in the oven here inside. But that'll be done tomorrow. I'm going to let it sit, let the seasonings get through it, let it bloom, or whatever you want to call it. I guess bloom is after the process, but just let it sit and get the tastes into it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I hope it was informative and I didn't repeat myself too much, but appreciate the support in my YouTube channel, and it's growing pretty quick, which I'm happy with. So thanks to everybody for watching. And one last thing, check out this little basket my wife made. I think it's pretty cool. It's a basket, some moss, some Christmas decorations in there. Little birdhouse. One of my favorite decorations. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.